Being a kid in the 80s was a magical thing. You had unprecedented freedom, and boredom was a foreign concept. The cherry on top was all the awesome cartoons that were on. From ThunderCats to Care Bears, there was a little something for everybody, but the one show that was specifically meant for the cool kids was M.A.S.K. Developed by Terrence McDonnell, Gary Warne, and Jack Olesker, M.A.S.K followed the adventures of the titular organization, which was an acronym for Mobile Armored Strike Kommand. Command spelled with a K, obviously. This titular task force was led by Matt Trakker against the vicious evil network of Mayhem, or V.E.N.O.M, Miles Mayhem's good-for-nothing group. The members of M.A.S.K were equipped with mind-blowing gadgets like armored vehicles that could transform and special masks that, unfortunately, even V.E.N.O.M used. Now, decades after the cartoon, M.A.S.K is returning to the Energon universe. Written by Dan Watters, who's written Nightwing and Sword of Azrael, and illustrated by Simon Parr of Judge Dredd fame, as well as Pierluigi Casolino, known for DC vs. Vampires and Kneel Before Zod, M.A.S.K is going to get 6 issues and 1 special issue. The first issue has already dropped, and we got insight into both M.A.S.K and V.E.N.O.M in a world that's witnessing the fight between the Autobots and the Decepticons. It's going to be a good one, so let's dive right in. When conspiracy theories ring true, we start with a high-speed chase. Matt Trakker is ahead in a red car, while military men chase him in tanks, cars, jeeps, and helicopters. The men are baffled as to how they're unable to catch him in their high-tech vehicles while he's driving a relic. As he approaches a cliff, the men wonder if he can make it across. Trakker knows he could, but instead, he swivels and parks the car, causing the military men to stop the chase haphazard. He's unceremoniously pulled from his vehicle, handcuffed, and arrested. In New Jersey, Vanessa Warfield ransacks the house of a scientist and threatens him for information. His photo frames are smashed in, the glass table is broken, and books are thrown all about the room. Vanessa assumes he's keeping his mouth shut and being paid well with cozy academic positions and extensive therapy in exchange for their silence. She lets him know that he's the lucky one. Even though Vanessa is by no means the kind or gentle person in any situation, the 2 men she's teamed up with are so cruel and barbaric they make her look like a saint. Vanessa is wrong though. Nobody bribed the scientist. He had chosen to keep their findings a secret as he didn't want anyone to find out what they did. To prove his point, the researcher unbuttoned his shirt, tears in his eyes, to show what this secret thing had done to him. His body was riddled with deep holes. They weren't wounds though, dark, fleshy, were leading somewhere. Vanessa put one of her fingers inside a hole, her eyes lighting up as she realized her employer, Miles Mayhem, might be onto something. She promises to leave him alone if he gives her the coordinates, and the scientist hesitates as he wasn't a good navigator. Vanessa doesn't want to hear excuses though, and stamps on his hand. The scientist offers to write down some landmarks he just remembered, and Vanessa agrees for calling her partner Rax. Rax isn't having any more luck than Vanessa. He hopes Miles succeeds in getting the location. Rax, determined to make sure the scientist he asked wasn't holding out on him, drags him along the road while speeding on his motorcycle. Vanessa hears the screams of the man and holds the phone to the scientist she was interviewing to inspire him a bit. Matt Trakker is a smart guy, a genius in robotics, cybernetics, and nearly all fields of engineering, but he doesn't look too smart handcuffed to a chair. General Flag arrives, and the private that arrested Matt stands at attention. Matt refuses to speak to Flag without the cuffs off, but Flag disregards his demands. They had raided his safe house and retrieved the classified government property he had stolen. Matt doesn't agree, though, as he couldn't steal what was his. Besides, he hadn't taken anything from the government, but rebuilt his own designs. Matt was the M.A.S.K program. Miles had merely shared credit for his work. Now, Miles was gone. Flag frowns when Matt reminds him that he had warned him about Miles. Realizing he was on the losing side of an argument, he orders the private to remove his cuffs. Private reluctantly obliges. The first thing Matt asks about is his car. Where is it? Did any of the goons scratch it? Is it close by? Flag doesn't say anything past the fact that it's been impounded. Flag tries to ask him about his family, but Matt shuts that down. He's in no mood to entertain Flag's attempt at leveraging his family. Flag had put together Shadow Watch to build weapons against an upcoming robot alien invasion. The only avenue that had shown promise was M.A.S.K tech. Miles Mayhem, the leader of M.A.S.K, framed Matt, telling Flag that he was selling government secrets to foreigners. Without waiting for Matt's side of the story, Flag had tried to make him disappear, but of course, Matt had escaped and kept tabs on Miles. He knew Flag wanted to know what Miles was up to. He had recently recruited Sly Rax, a maniac, and Vanessa Warfield, former CIA agent. Miles had let Matt in on his secrets. He was a huge believer in conspiracies. He thought lizard people were in the government, angelic humanoids were communicating with him through the fillings in his teeth. Basically, any paranoid theory you can think of, Miles believed in it. Add to that his messiah complex, because Miles was convinced he needed to save the world. Thanks to Flag revealing that aliens were real, he had now descended into complete insanity. Next, we see Miles himself, his crazed eyes monologuing to someone in front of him in a chair. Whoever was in front of him was part of a research team sent out to Frusenland by the Norwegian government to study anomalous seismic readings. They found an extraterrestrial device that was damaged but still working. Afraid of what the government might do with such a device, they kept it a secret. As they began to work on it, though, the scientists began to fall ill. Only 3 of them survived the difficult ordeal. Their first guess was that the device was radioactive. They soon discovered something even more horrific. The device was a wormhole generator, and it was poking holes in time and space. Since the scientists were so close to it, the wormhole generator had been creating wormholes in their bodies. Portals to different ends of the universe begin to appear on their flesh. 3 had hidden. Miles tells the scientist, who had retreated to Alaska to continue researching the wormholes, that the wormhole generator would save the world, as it would prove to be an effective weapon against enemies from outer space. He then shakes his hand, and then we see the state of this scientist for the first time. The holes in his body had deepened so much that he had died, his skin green and his body hollowed out. Miles probably found the coordinates of the device from a log or report the man had maintained, but that's not what he tells Rax and Warfield. He tells them that the scientist told him the coordinates. A clear sign that something's not really right in his head. Forwarding the coordinates, he heads to Frusenland. Miles had framed Matt when he found out that he didn't really believe any of Miles's cuckoo theories. Matt reveals all this to Flag and tells him that Miles tried to take him out today too. He tells Flag that he always had inside men and turns to the Private. Private argues that it's ridiculous, but Matt had already seen the tiny button behind his ear, compressed helmet that Miles had contributed to M.A.S.K. The Private presses the button, and a helmet immediately covers his head. Matt does the same, and the two face off, shooting laser beams from the helmet visors. The whole room is destroyed, and the Private turns to Flag to kill him first. He sees them as mere stepping stones in the journey of Venom. As he aims his visor at Flag, who had taken cover behind a fallen table, he passes on a message from Miles, telling him that it's personal. He hopes it hurts very much. Just before he shoots, though, Matt punches it. Flag jumps up and holds him in a headlock, allowing Matt to shoot his laser beam right into the soldier's face. Matt realizes that Miles had named his organization Venom, tells Flag that if he wants to take them down, they need to depend on something other than luck like they did today. Flag rehires Matt on the spot and tells him that all the charges against him will be dropped in return for developing counter-alien technology, consulting on the recovery of stolen government records and property under Flag. Matt brushes this off, asking why Flag would think he wants to help the government build anything anymore. They had their chance, and they had fumbled it. Flag tells him that he's surrounded by soldiers and not in a position to negotiate. With the press of a button, Matt's car turns into a flying vehicle and takes him out of the building. He gives the device that controls the mask to Flag and tells him that he'll be in touch. Soldiers then rush in, asking Flag what happened, as Flag studies the wristband-like device. The 3 members of Venom stop a mile behind their destination, planning to cover it on foot. The area they're in used to be a hotly disputed territory between Russia and Norway for most of the 20th century. It had been written off, though, as it was considered too dangerous to be traversed. Miles tells his subordinates about it, adding that people had knowledge of something in the area, but they had neglected it. Now, in the hands of Venom, he believed it would be a weapon that would save them from any and all alien attacks. Vanessa is concerned about his words and asks Rax if he truly believes in aliens and wormholes. Rax asks her not to bring up her disbelief in front of Miles, as he wouldn't take it lightly, and assures her Miles has often proved to be onto something. We then see the wormhole generator, broken, buried in the snow, crackling with orange power. The first issue of M.A.S.K. unfolds like a well-crafted film, each scene detailed, but yet giving only as much information as the writer wants to drip-feed us. The art is perfect, with consistent characters and detailed expressions. This comic book also does a great job establishing the characters. Matt is once bitten, twice shy, not trusting the government with anything after they tried to get rid of him without any investigation. Miles is crazy, Rax is malevolent, Vanessa seems to be the only person in Venom with any sensibility. Flag is a power-hungry man who likes to lord his rank over others. They might not be completely accurate, but that's the impression we've got so far. Can't wait to see what happens next. If you'll allow me a shot in the dark plot-wise, I think that at least one of Miles' cronies will be affected by the wormhole generator, as they don't yet know how to work it, and Matt might team up with the Autobots to stop Venom. if you like your comic book cinematic, we can't recommend this one enough. Go check it out immediately and let us know about your predictions for the next issue. Also, if you liked this video, please smash that thumbs up and subscribe to our awesome channel, because we'll be back soon with even more awesome content. But until then, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and we'll see ya in the next one.